Keith Patrick is the butcher of Yass, or at least he was until this week. But after 55 years selling chops in the family butchery in Cooma Street, he's hanging up his knives. But fear not, folk of Yass and surrounding regions, his brother and business partner Terry will be keeping you well supplied with the prize-winning sausages for which the shop is renowned. This week, Keith Patrick pulled on the apron for one last time to reminisce with Jeremy Thompson.
Dad shifted to Yass in about 1947. Came from Blaney first, and then he was in Sydney most of the time, and then shifted to Blaney for a couple of years, and then come to Yass, and been here ever since. That was another reason, or one of the reasons why Dad shifted to Yass, because he could slaughter his own stock. So we had a slaughter yards out the road, and yeah, he used to buy at the sale yards, and then after a few years he bought his own property, and we were breeding them then and processing them at the same time. And then, I don't know, 20 years ago, whatever, the government then decided to close all those little country slaughterhouses down, and so we then had to go back to buying from abattoirs and wholesalers.
There you go.
I went to college in Goulburn. It was an ag college, and the year when it was getting towards the end of the year, I just remember riding home one day and said, "Oh look, I think I might become a butcher," and that was, can't remember why. That's how it came about. It was entirely different to what it is now. Entirely different. We had all the sausages were hand mixed, and then it was run through a little tiny mincer that you had to stand there for about 2 hours just pushing it through and pushing it through. A lot of characters who used to come in here, but there was an old plumber who used to come in regularly, and he was a great fella. Jeffrey Rayner, his name was, and he used to just get around in a pair of blue overalls all the time. He would do anything for anybody, and he was a great yodeler, and he used to stand across the road there as he was going into the pie shop, and he would let out this yodel, and just everybody would hear it, and it was great. Somebody came along one day and said, "Look, I wouldn't mind to buy it." So we finished up selling, but that only lasted for about 12 months. Terry stayed here, and then he rang me up one day and said, "Oh look, they want to get out of this." So I said, "Well, we'll buy it back." So that's how we started as a partnership, and that was 20 odd years ago. And so it's gone from there. But we then purchased it back in the days of high interest rates, and you know, and from then on we had a real struggle, because you know, we were paying 21% interest to the banks like everybody else. We were working sometimes, and him and I were the only ones doing it. We were working 20-hour days some days. I mean, I'm not boasting about it, but that's what we had to do.
Keith, what's it like to be in the same job for 55 years? Not many people can say that, can they?
Oh, look, Jeremy, I don't know. It was just something that you just kept going at it and going at, and then all of a sudden, you've been here for 50 years, and you say, "Oh, yeah, that's a bit hard to take, isn't it?" So anyway, look, I don't know. I just probably liked it, but over the last few years, I've been getting crankier and crankier, and you know, and saying I've got to get out of this place and what have you. So eventually, it happened, and now Terry's going to continue on for a few years anyway. So because he's a little bit younger than me, and he feels as though he wants to continue on for a bit longer.
So what's the future hold for you now, Keith?
Well, like I said, Jeremy, just hopefully putting along, looking after the grandkids, which I love doing. And going down to my son, he's contemplating getting into business if he can, so if I'm still able to, I can duck down and give him a hand, even if it's only sweeping the floors. So that's it, and travelling around, and it'll be great. But I do notice a lot of people are pulling me up now and saying, it's not the same. It's not the same as when you were there. And I think, well, I can relate to that.
Jeremy Thompson amongst the sausages in Yass.